What's going on, guys? Bassin' It on Mava here, coming at you with a new video. And in this week's video, we are going to do a full chatterbait breakdown, where to fish it, how to fish it, different retrieve styles, the only colors that you need to buy, because there's a lot of different colors and some of them, to be honest with you, you just don't need. Not to say that they won't catch fish, but I think all these other colors, other than the ones I'm about to tell you, are just made to catch our eyes more than the fish's. Like I said, doesn't mean they won't catch fish, because you can catch fish on almost any color chatterbait given the right time and the right conditions. But we're going to break you down on just the few colors that you need to represent different baits, different times of years, and like I said, when to use these chatterbaits, where to fish them, how to fish them, what colors you need. We're going to do all that because we had a little request on it. Now some of you might say, well, we've done quite a few videos on chatterbaits, because yes, I fish it a ton. It's one of my absolute favorite baits, but we haven't done a full breakdown of it like this. Also going to show you the rod setup and everything that we throw it on, line, reel, rod type, reel type, all of that. So here we go, guys. Let's just get right into it. So first off, the rod that I throw a chatterbait on is typically almost always a 7.3 medium heavy fast action. You want that fast action with a nice soft tip, so it gives just a little bit when a fish grabs a hold of it, and then you can drive that hook really good into them with the nice medium heavy backbone that it has. Because you got your stiffness back here, and you want that little bit of softness because you're throwing a moving bait, and sometimes they swipe at stuff and sometimes they don't get it very good. With having that little bit of give, that gives them a chance to suck it in first. It gives a little bit before you set the hook. Line, I throw chatterbaits on 15-pound fluorocarbon line almost exclusively, and that's just because I can fish that around almost any kind of cover. I don't really have to worry about getting it hung up much and not getting it back. And if I do not get it back, it's usually because it's in a log or a rock and I can't get my lure retriever down to it good enough. The reel, I use a 7.3-to-1 Shimano Scorpion. You want a generally fast retrieve reel for chatterbaits. You're reeling and you want to be able to drive that hook real quick and fast and then horse them in. I like to winch them in fast, because sometimes, like I said, they don't get it good, especially if they just swipe at it. So if you can get them into the boat faster, you got a better chance at landing that fish. But now to break down chatterbait color styles. So you have different color styles that you want to use on sunny days and cloudy days. Cloudy days, I will use like black and blue, or like a gold if I'm fishing in clear water. The black and blue creates a bigger silhouette. Gold just flashes better and gives off a better tone in overcast conditions. I don't know why too. Just fish around here really like gold on overcast days in clear water. Now you can also fish both of these in stained water on overcast conditions as well, but the only difference in stained water, if the water is always stained, I will also throw these colors in that stained water on sunny days as well. Especially the gold on sunny days in stained water, because gold seems to flash better than silver in stained water and puts off a lot more flash. Now if I'm fishing clear water and just the normal portion of summer or late spring, early fall, I'll be fishing either green pumpkin with like red or blue or purple, something with green pumpkin to mimic a crawl pattern, and something that looks like a shad. Now this is spot remover. It's an electric shad color with a little bit of chartreuse in it, so that's kind of a little shad representation for clear water. Works really good in clear water, especially really clear water like Lake Marburg. I will also throw just the regular white with the gold blade, or a regular white with a silver blade in clear water. But generally you want to have at least something that mimics shad and something that mimics a crawfish style bait or a crawfish. And once we break it down into times a year a little bit, shad typically is what I'm throwing most of the year. Talking summer, after spring gets through, most of the summer, most of the fall, I'll be throwing a shad representation or some kind of bait fish representation. And once we get into early spring, I'm throwing crawfish patterns, fire crawl. Red works really good early spring. There's just something about red early spring. Catches big fish, and in stained water, red is a super great color, especially early in the year in stained water. Once the water gets into the 50s and 60s, that's when this fire crawl can work really good. But like I said, crawl patterns I'll throw a lot in the springtime. The blue and purple, or the purple and green pumpkin, or the blue and green pumpkin, that kind of mimics a crawfish, or it can also mimic bluegill. It's basically the same colors as bluegills, so a lot of times bass will think they're bluegill as well. So there isn't really a need to go out and get bluegill specific looking chatterbaits. You can save yourself some money and just get these couple. But black and blue always works great in stained water. Fire crawl can work great in stained water early in the year. Can even work great all through the summer as well too. It just depends on where you are. I've caught a lot of fish on the river with fire crawl when there's muddy water and the water's stained pretty good. I've also caught a ton on black and blue on the river when the water's really stained too. So it doesn't really matter a whole lot as long as you have one or the other. I think black and blues, you're better all around if you don't want to have to buy a bunch of different ones. But then retrieve styles that you want to do, you can vary it. It kind of depends on the time of day and the time of year, what the fish are doing. But you want to fish these around cover. They have an exposed hook, but they come through cover really well. They deflect off of stuff very well. I like to fish them around laydowns, kind of rip them up over top of them. You can fish it around riprap a little bit here and there too. Sometimes they will get hung up. If you have a good lure retriever, most of the time you can get it off and bang it right off of the rocks. They work really great ripping them through grass. You can flutter them around through the grass real nice and easy. You can pull them along, rip them through that grass, and a lot of times you'll get reaction strikes ripping it through that grass. It's a really good way to get reaction strikes. If you're been on the channel for a while, you've heard me talk about doing that quite a bit. That's one thing I really like doing, especially with chatterbaits. You can jig them almost like you would a jig. Just kind of pop it up, let it fall, and pop it up and let it fall. But most of the time I'm doing just a slow, steady retrieve, enough to keep me right along the bottom banging into stuff, and that typically is all you need to do to get bit on the chatterbait. Sometimes they'll even bite it on the fall. Sometimes you might not even get to make a real turn or get into your retrieve. Sometimes they might just hit it right on the fall as it's falling down. That's happened quite a few times, especially fishing deeper water with these. Now I almost exclusively fish the 1/2 ounce size. If I need to downsize, I usually just trim the skirt a little bit and trim my trailer a little. I don't feel like the 3/8 runs the same as the 1/2 ounce. I'm usually not fishing shallow enough water to have to switch to the 3/8. Most of the time the 1/2 gets it done fine in 5 to 6 foot of water, even a foot or so. I can usually just control my retrieve speed enough to keep it where I want it, and it doesn't seem to affect the bite on it at all either. But early in the year, like right now, you want to stick to a super slow retrieve, like I said, going along the bottom. Once summer gets here and once spring gets here good and the water starts getting into the 60s, then you can start getting real erratic and real fast with these. You can burn them. You can do a lot of stuff like that over the summer and once the water starts getting warm with them. But that is pretty much all you need to know about chatterbait fishing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little chatterbait fishing video. Like I said, I know we've done quite a few chatterbait videos, but I had a request to do this, and there's a few things that we haven't talked about that I added in this video, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it helpful. And if you did, please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next one. Get entered into my giveaway. We're going to be doing a giveaway for 5 of my favorite lures. Of course, a chatterbait is going to be in there. So get entered into my giveaway by being subscribed to the channel, by commenting, by leaving a like, and you can also share it on one of your social media pages and tag me in it. If you don't tag me in it, I won't see it and you won't get that extra entry. But also, all this will be linked in the description down below if you guys want to check them out or want to buy them. Or if you're local to Hanover, Pennsylvania here, you can go into B&B Lures Tackle Shop and pick yourself up some of these Zman jackhammers. I almost exclusively throw the Zman jackhammer. I will pick up other chatterbait brands here and there, but I've found nothing that tops the jackhammer yet. They are by far the best chatterbait on the market. So get out there, get yourself some, and get yourself some fish. Tight lines, y'all.
Wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah. I just wanna